Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Due to a gas leak at the Hunt County Jail, approximately 20 inmates were transferred to the Hopkins County Jail and others to Tarrant County earlier this week. Hopkins County Sheriff Louis Tatum said the transfers were received without incident and that the courtesy holds were necessitated by the danger to the inmates at the Hunt County facility. Although the county does charge for courtesy holds, he stated that these inmates would be housed at a lesser fee. He said that it is possible that Hopkins County will have need of assistance from Hunt County at some time and that good relations with the neighboring county is important. A traffic violation noted by a Hopkins County deputy led to the arrest of Sarah Irene Alsop, age 29, of Emory. Alsop was stopped at Loop 301 at Jefferson Street at approximately 2 a.m. Thursday morning. She was found to be wanted on a warrant for abandoned endangered child criminal negligence. A female deputy arrived on the scene and, following a pat-down, found a plastic baggie containing methamphetamine, along with a syringe in her pocket and a loaded syringe in her bra. At the jail, she was found to have suspected crack cocaine on her person. Alsop is in Hopkins County Jail, held on the warrant, and charged with possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 less than 1 gram, more than 1 gram but less than 4 grams, and possession of controlled substance penalty group 1 less than 1 gram in a drug-free zone. She's held on bonds totaling $35,000. A Jacksonville, Arkansas couple stopped on Interstate 30 by Texas Highway Patrol was arrested for possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 greater than 400 grams. They had in their possession 4 Ziploc bags containing approximately 4,003 grams of a crystal-like substance known as ice methamphetamine. The Ziploc bags were in 2 large plastic bags in the second row seat floorboard underneath the feet of their 5-year-old child. The stop at the 113-mile marker resulted in Victor Simon Hernandez, age 38, and Amber Deanne Hernandez, age 39, showing signs of nervousness and giving implausible travel plans to the officer. Also in the vehicle were their children, a 17-year-old male that his mother said has disabilities, and a 5-year-old child. Children's clothing were found in a cloth bag on top of and below the 2 plastic baggies containing the 4 small bags of meth. Victor Hernandez and Amber Hernandez charged individually with first-degree felony for possession and are held on $75,000 bonds each. Sunshine greeted the sellers and buyers at the February Northeast Texas Beef Improvement Organization, or NetBio, sale held Wednesday. It was a welcome relief from heavy rains the day before. A total of 145 sellers delivered 2,959 head of cattle to the sale at the Silver Springs Livestock Auction Market. Despite the cold and wet weather before the sale date, the cattle held up well and looked good in the sales ring, according to Silver Springs Livestock Commission co-owner David Fowler. There was good demand and prices had improved some for all weights as 26 buyers purchased all the cattle. A total of 423 head were sold to buyers over the internet. A lot of the cattle were destined for feed yards. Buyers paid an average of $806.24 per head for the cattle. The NetBio preconditioned stocker and feeder calf sale gives producers a market to offer their preconditioned calves and yearlings in load block quantities. Fowler said the next sale is less than 30 days away. Producers have already consigned more than 4,000 head of cattle to the sale, which will be held at the Silver Springs Livestock Auction on Wednesday, March 20th, starting at 1 p.m. Ear tags for the sales are still available at the livestock market office. Weaning deadline for calves consigned to the March sale was February 3rd, and the last date for booster shots was February 18th.
Today we will meet Johanna Hicks, who is the Hopkins County Extension Agent, with some new programs she has started up. And also we'll meet a brand new Extension Assistant who's assigned to our county. Her name is Jessica Taylor.
So we have Jessica Taylor. She is our new Extension Assistant.
Okay.
And you'll have to excuse me, I have a touch of laryngitis. I don't feel bad, I just sound bad. But she joined us a couple of weeks ago, and she'll be helping us primarily with 4-H, but also she'll be working with Mario on the ag side, and she'll be observing some of my programs on the family and community health side, and we're just very happy to have her.
Good. We are too. And we'll come back to some of those programs you have, but Jessica, I want to meet you too and find out how you came to Sulphur Springs Extension Office.
Well, good morning, everybody, and I'm happy to be here, and it's exciting to be in Sulphur Springs now. But I grew up in a little town called Clarksville, Texas. It's not too far from here. It's about an hour drive. But I went to school at Detroit ISD from kindergarten to 12th grade. I started my college career at PJC, and I stayed at PJC for about a year and a half solid, and then I decided I wanted to grow up and move away to college, do what every college kid does, move away from home. And so I moved to Stephenville, and I attended Tarleton State University for 2 years. And then I decided, well, maybe I want to come back home. So I came back home, and I finished my degree at Texas A&M Commerce. And then my professors, and I guess they came to me right when I was graduating. They said, you need to get your master's degree. And I said, well, I was planning on it. They said, no, you need to just stay and get your master's degree. And I said, okay then. So I stayed, and I got my master's degree at Texas A&M Commerce also. And then started, looking around. My degrees in agriculture science, plants and animals. And so I was looking for a career that would include both plants and animals, and I got, looking into extension, and it's how I ended up here.
That is good news for us.
Yes, it is. And it's a full-time position, but she'll only be with us 18 to 24 months.
Okay.
It is a temporary position unless it can be funded permanently.
Okay.
But in that time, she'll see all aspects of extension, ag, 4-H, and FCH, and she'll be going with us to do programs. She'll be observing, and so when she's finished with this period, then she'll be qualified to step in. If there's an opening in another county for a position, then she'll be qualified to step in and take that role.
Okay, wonderful.
So we're just very glad to have her here.
So you tell me, as a child, were you involved in 4-H?
Oh, yes. As a young child, I was involved in 4-H. My family have been, raising cattle my whole life. I mean, that's what we did for a living, is we had a cattle ranch. And so I was constantly involved in agriculture, whether I wanted to be or not. And so whenever I was younger, up until middle school, I was in 4-H, and I, showed cattle and showed heifers through 4-H. And then, when I got into high school, I joined FFA, and FFA, I was in FFA until, I graduated high school. But even after graduating high school, I still helped at my county fair. I helped all the kids and helped, the kids in the ring with the livestock and everything, and running the ring and making sure everybody was where they were supposed to be. So I've always been involved. I mean, we've raised horses. My cousins, I've helped my younger cousins with all their show projects. I mean, my cousins showed lambs and goats and cattle. So I've had my hands in a little bit of everything.
Okay. And your family name is Taylor?
Yes.
Okay, from the Clarksville area. So
yes.
Probably some folks will know that family. So, bam, here we are in our county show week.
I don't know whether to be scared or excited because everybody that I've talked to, they said, oh, you got here just in time for NETLA. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, yeah. And they said, good luck. That's what they'll tell me, good luck. And I was like, I don't know whether to be, scared or excited, which I am excited. Livestock shows are, that's what I love to do. And I love being around it. I love helping the kids. And so I'm excited. I may be scared whenever I get there. But I've constantly told, all the kids that I've seen, all the parents that I've met, if you see me at the show, come get me. If you need help, say, hey, come help me. And I'll do my best to help you any way that I possibly can.
That is great news for our kids. And I know that Johanna will be appreciating your help in other programs. Mario, too.
Mm-hmm. I told Johanna when I first got this job, I've never been involved in any of the aspects that she does. She does so many programs that I've never heard of. I didn't know that we're involved in Extension, so I'm really excited to be able to, I guess, follow Johanna around and see how she does things and see all these programs and how they benefit everybody.
Well, see, you also can kind of stand as an example for some youngsters who are seeking a career and thinking about where they're going to be headed, because you didn't even really start looking at Extension until you were well into college.
Exactly. And, what's funny is in Red River County, we had the same Extension agent growing up. He had 2 boys, and one was 2 years older than me and one was a year older than me. So I grew up with his boys. And, I knew what Lynn was, but he was just a fixated part of the community. It was Lynn. So I didn't necessarily know until I got here, and I learned something new every single day. And I learned a new process to some, program or the way something's set up every single day. And I did not realize that Extension is that involved in the community and is in charge of so many different aspects of agriculture and, even what Johanna does. I didn't know that Extension, you could do anything with diabetes with Extension. I just thought that was like health care, and the healthcare aspect. So it's a real big eye-opening experience, this job so far, which I'm excited about.
I can tell that you are, and we're glad to have you here. Johanna, you have a couple of programs that are sort of examples of something else that Extension does.
Absolutely. Of course, I guess one of my banner programs is called Do Well, Be Well with Diabetes, and I do this every year. About 12% of our Hopkins County residents have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And those are just the ones that are diagnosed. There are several that have it that may not even know it yet. So this series is designed to teach people about making healthy food choices, knowing what foods raise their blood sugar. We also talk about when and how to check your blood sugar. We talk about physical activity and the role that it plays in diabetes management. We talk about diabetes medications. We talk about complications. So it's a very thorough series. It does not take the place of a doctor's visit, but it just helps supplement, because a doctor doesn't have time to sit down an hour for 5 weeks and tell them all the things they need to know. And so this series just supplements what a doctor will tell them. And we've had very, very good success with it. The series is going to be held on Mondays and Thursdays starting March 11th. Okay. And it will end on Monday, March 25th. It will be held at the Extension office. We're going to say 6 o'clock in the evening. Now, if there's enough interest, we will add a 1:30 session.
Okay.
And that's for those that maybe don't want to get out at night and drive. But I do need to have a minimum number of people in order for the 1:30 session to make.
Okay.
But we will definitely do a 6 o'clock session. The cost is only $25, and when you break it down, that's only $5 per session. So, which is a bargain, because you'll get a notebook. Every time they come, they'll get a packet of materials, recipes. We have incentive items each week that help reinforce the topics that are taught. So it does start on March 11th, okay. And we just need them to call the office at 903-885-3443. And we'll get them on the list, and we hope to have a good number. We always have a really good crowd, and it's been very beneficial to those who are trying to manage diabetes.
I know you have another program to talk about, but your voice may give out.
I'm hanging in there.
Okay.
I'm sorry that everybody's having to listen to this. But
you don't sound bad.
We do have a child safety seat checkup.
Okay.
And it's going to be held in April. It's going to be on Wednesday, April 3rd at the Lowe's parking lot. Now, we did this about 3 years ago, and this is part of a grant that we got. And so it's going to be from 1 to 4 on the Lowe's parking lot, Wednesday, April 3rd. And anyone who has a young child in a car seat is welcome to come out. They need to bring their child. They need to know the child's height and weight. And then if their car seat is not the right size or if it's outdated, we will give free car seats. The first time we did this, we gave out 32 car seats. It's a free event, so anybody that has small children in car seats, the only stipulation, you do need to bring your child and the car seat, hopefully the child in the car seat.
Okay.
And then we'll have technicians there that will check it, take some notes, and if it requires a new safety seat, we will give new safety seats. There's no sign-up required. You just show up that day. And it does go until 4 o'clock, so, even families who have kids in school, they can come after school.
Okay.
So we're very excited about that because this opportunity only rolls around every few years. So we're very excited to be able to host this event.
I have to ask, can a grandparent bring the children if the parents are working?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes. As long as we have the child and the car seat.
Okay.
It doesn't matter who brings them. The main thing is keeping that child safe and making sure that they are in the proper safety seat.
That is an amazing program.
Yes, it is.
Really, really is, and helpful for families. Well, and thank you for those programs. And there are so many things going on through our extension office, as Jessica mentioned. And it's not all about livestock, although this week it is all about livestock.
It is all about the livestock this week.
Well, and I have to put in a plug. We just finished a training for new Master Wellness volunteers.
Okay.
I have a good base of trained volunteers, and I had 3 more that completed the training just yesterday. And so we'll be hitting the ground running. You'll be seeing those volunteers out at different events. And we've got some health fairs coming up. We have a 4-H camp coming up. I have a new series called Do Well. It's Be Well, Live Well.
Okay.
That's a nutrition program for senior adults. So we're very excited about that program. You'll be hearing more about that as the time approaches.
Okay. Now, we have 4-Hers and FFA students who are bringing their livestock to the Civic Center, which will be lambs and goats Thursday
Yes,
afternoon.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes. I think I didn't bring my brochure with me, and I've been answering these questions all week, but the Lamb and Goat show starts at 2 p.m.
Okay.
And lambs and goats are only showing tomorrow. And then Friday morning is the poultry show, and then the steer show, and then the heifer show following the steer show.
Okay. I think families like to bring their kids to see all these animals in their little pens or else in the ring as all this takes place.
Yes, and strongly encourage that. I mean, bring your families out. Let them see the animals. Some of the kids may even let small children pet their animals. They just need to come, and there's going to be plenty of activities and everything for them to do. So it'll be a fun time for all the family.
Right in the middle of things, and spectators are absolutely free.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Thing that happens here each year. Well, thank you both very much for coming in. We'll be following you as best we can with our busy extension office, Johanna. And Jessica, you have quite a task in front of you, but I think you're well up to it.
I'm excited and I'm ready to go.
Right. Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you.
Junior Market Livestock Show begins today at the Civic Center Arena. Earlier this week, we spoke with Silver Springs FFA members Savannah Allen and Cash Vidito, along with their sponsor, John Holland.
We have 55 students with animal projects, and we got 9 students doing ag mechanics. Of those 55, we have 17 kids showing swine, 14 kids showing chickens, which Cash is one of those, 7 kids showing lambs, 16 showing goats, and one of them is Savannah. And then we have 1 steer, and we'll have 4 ag mechanic projects along with that. So we got quite a few kids.
I have a goat and I actually have a heifer. I have 2 goats this year, and what we do for that is really I feed them in the mornings, and then I go out in the afternoons, and we have a real long driveway, and I have an app on my phone, and it tells me how much I run them, and I try to do at least a mile a day, and then if I'm feeling better most days I'll go over, but I don't know, it just depends. and then I feed them again that afternoon. And normally I try to jackpot them, take them to a few jackpot shows, which that's always pretty fun because you get to get out and get more competition and see what else is out there, and then bring them back to county and just compare them. And then for my heifer, I've always shown heifers, and so this year I'm actually moving in from Brahman to Hereford, and so I'm bringing a Hereford up this year. I took her to Fort Worth, and I ended up reserving my division and winning showmanship, so I'm pretty excited to bring her up to county and see how she's going to compare with every other breed there.
All right. It's kind of fun to see someone who's going to show a Hereford because so many people move into other breed of cattle.
Yes, sir. I live on a Brahmin ranch, and we've been running Brahmins for 50 years. I've been showing Brahmin cattle since I was 3 years old, and getting out there every day and working that hair has definitely been a different experience than those Brahmin cattle. Yes, sir.
It is.
It's been fun, though.
What breed of goat do you have?
Just a weather goat.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Showmanship with goats, is that a lot different from other animals?
Honestly, it's really not, because you kind of set them up the same way. You just have a 1,500-pound calf compared to an 80-pound goat. That's the only thing really different. You walk them in a circle, you want to watch the judge, you want to set their feet up as soon as you can, and you want to just be prepared when the judge comes around to get them up and brace them.
Cash, showing chickens is a challenge.
Yes, sir. It's a totally difference than Brahman, showing Brahman cattle and then goats as well. Because you basically, you start out with 25 chickens, and you basically pin them out, you feed them, get the biggest, widest breasts, most similar 3 chickens you can out of the 25, and you have them for about 6 weeks, but this year we're shorter, so we usually have 5. And we started out, you feed them, you want to feed them as much as you can, make them get up, walk as much as you can, because every time you get them up and walk, they'll go eat and drink and just get bigger. So basically, and then show them, you'll carry your best 3, but you always carry an extra in case one of them dies or something. And so, because they're so big and they'll have heart attacks or something. And also, so for showing chickens, you basically, you'll get them up and you'll put you in 3 different categories. The judge will fill them, and he'll put you in group 1, 2, or 3, and then he'll bring those groups back, judge them, and see how you place. And it's just basically like that. And then he'll make, and the top 30 pins make the sale. And for showmanship, you kind of have a little bit different. He'll you go in your different age categories, and he'll ask you certain questions, and whoever can answer the questions the best will win the showmanship.
Okay, so showmanship is more on being able to answer about the animals and show.
Knowing about them.
Okay. Obviously, one of the important things is the firmness of the meat that's on that chicken and so forth. Walking them, does that assist?
It helps a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to get them the hardest you can.
So you show the best 3 chickens, and hopefully they don't die between, having shown and coming back.
Yes, sir.
What do you do with the other chickens?
We call them out. We give them to some people around town, or some of our renters take them, and they'll feed them, and eventually they'll start laying eggs. Okay. And basically, for the show, you kind of want to have mainly roosters, but sometimes you don't have all roosters, so you'll have to have hens.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So then, if you make the show of champions, which I'm sure you will, what do you plan to do with the money?
Well, ever since I was 8 years old, I have made this show. And I have a separate bank account that I put that money in every single year, and that's definitely going to go for college, because I either want to go and I want to go to vet school after I attend 4-year college, and so that's what that's going to go towards, college.
Excellent. Where do you plan to go to college?
Hopefully A&M. I have it narrowed down to A&M or Tech, so one of the 2. Hopefully I can get a bunch of scholarships, and that'll make it a lot easier to decide.
Senior this year?
No, sir, I'm just a sophomore.
Oh, okay. So you've got plenty of time to
Yes, sir.
on all of that.
Yes,
excellent, sir. Excellent. Cash, how about you?
I put mine in a bank account, and I've made the sale for 6 years now, and I've been showing for 6 years for chickens. Okay. And I take the money and I put it, and I'll save it for college and buying more show heifers.
What grade are you?
I'm a freshman.
You're a freshman. Okay, so both of you have plenty of time here
yes,
in front of you to build up that bank account
yes,
and get ready for it. Good, good. Where are you planning to go to college?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't exactly looked around.
Yeah. John, you've got some good students here.
Yes, sir.
And this is probably a sample of the kind of students you have in Sulphur Springs FFA.
They are very good students. These are some hard-working kids. Chickens are only 5 weeks, but it is an intense 5 weeks.
Right.
They get them and move them all the time. I don't know if you'll do it this year, but get up through the night and move them around.
Right. Is it difficult to motivate the students who are in these projects to drive toward trying to get into the sale?
I don't think so. A lot of these kids, they'll, the money that's invested was earned, and they have something on the line. And so a lot of the kids that are showing, and especially the market projects, they know what's at stake, and they'll do everything they can to make the sale and raise the best quality animals that we can get.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
Lady Cats senior point guard Sadavia Porter was named the district's Defensive Player of the Year on the District 15 5A All-District basketball team that was released Wednesday. The team was selected by the district's coaches who could not vote for their players. Porter was one of 7 Lady Cats named to the All-District team. Senior post Autumn Tanton and senior guard Danielle Godbolt were selected first team All-District. Sophomore forward Nyla Lindley and junior guard Kate Womack were named second team All-District. Senior guard Tiara Rose and junior guard Aaliyah Abram were members of the Honorable Mention All-District team. Coaches can often be quite proud of their former players. SSISD Assistant Superintendent Rusty Harden is a proud former coach. Bradley Washington, a 2007 Sulphur Springs graduate, played basketball for former Wildcats basketball coach Harden. Harden, who coached the Wildcats in 2006-2007, was discussing some of his players on that team, and he mentioned his former post player Washington. Washington is now the head basketball coach at Pflugerville Conley. Harden mentioned that Washington had just picked up his first ever playoff win. Pflugerville Conley defeated the Hutto Hippos 60-41 in a Class 5A by-district game at Weiss High School on Monday. Coach Washington's team has a 23-9 record. After graduation, Washington earned a bachelor's degree in math from Texas A&M Commerce. This is Coach Washington's first year at Pflugerville Conley. He has had previous stops at Georgetown, Waco Midway, Colleen Ellison, and Leander. Harden has a picture on his phone of Washington coaching up his team against Hutto. Proud indeed.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.